Notice that the topic of Fatima is toxic came up. And I want to go into that a little bit. I noticed that sometimes every time Zach and Fatima get to arguing, people goes to she's acting like Karen. What's up, y'all? Welcome to my YouTube channel, Essence of Lex. Thank you for joining me on my bloom journey. And if you clicked on this video, it's because you're interested in my review and my recap of Sistas Season 5, Episode 3, titled No Stress. I don't know why it's called No Stress, because everybody on the show is stressing. Hell, they stressing me out. So why this episode is called No Stress, I have the slightest idea, but we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. And I'm gonna start off with the couple that is stressing me out the most. Zatima. Fatima is getting ready to go to the gym. It's become very apparent that she goes to the gym before she goes into work. So she's getting ready to go to the gym. Zach comes up to her and say, so we're not going to talk about last night type thing. And she said no, she didn't want to talk about last night. Zach kept pressing the issue or whatever. And he was like, so why, when I want to talk about Karen, you don't want to talk about Karen, but I got to be ready to talk about Karen when you ready to talk about Karen. And, you know, I see your point. You got a very valid point, Zach. You really do. But also Fatima came back at him and was like, basically, what do I do in the morning? Like, what is my morning rituals and whatever? And Zach went on explaining, and then Fatima said, exactly, I don't want to start my morning off with your ex. So they both got points, but she definitely got a point, because I wouldn't want to start the morning off like that either way, especially after she just got through talking to Jesus and praying and meditating and setting her intentions for the day. Don't nobody want to start off like that. Let's talk about that when we get home. He said, well, I just want you to know that I went over there. You told me to go over there and check her, and I went over there. And I was like, Zach, you went over there, you did, but you didn't check nothing because you didn't see her. The conversation went into Fatima family. Basically, we know from the trailer that Madam is Fatima's cousin. And if you don't know who Madam is, go watch All the Queen's Men. You definitely, at least if you don't get through All the Queen's Men, at least just go watch a few episodes before Madam pop up on Sistas. Because, yeah, Madam don't play. You think Fatima don't play? Madam is on a whole nother level. So if you have not seen All the Queen's Men, please go and see All the Queen's Men, so you understand that when we say that the Sistas is not ready for Madam, you understand what we mean. Please go watch All the Queen's Men if you don't know who Madam is. Basically, Fatima is just saying she wants peace, and that she's trying not to go down the same path that her family went down. And that's when she brought up, she said she got a ruthless cousin, and ruthless is understatement. Fatima saying she's going to let him meet Madam. So we're going to see how that interaction go, which we probably won't get for a few episodes, but definitely excited about Madam coming on Sistas. Fatima also cracked a little joke because Zach said something like, oh, so that's why you were so cool with me, you know, being in and out of jail or whatever, because of your family. And she was like, well, yeah, partly. And she basically told him, you know, that little stuff you did, my family will make that look like child's play. I was like, wow, that was funny to me. Because, again, I keep going back to this. If you watch All the Queen's Men, what Zach did is nothing at all. And Zach was like, he wanted to go to the gym with her. Initially, Fatima just wanted to go by herself. But Zach and Fatima, they went to the gym together. Fast forward to the gym. So now we're at the gym. They working out or whatever. Deja comes up. If you watch Sistas and you have not seen Zatima on BET Plus, then you don't know who Deja is. But go watch Zatima on BET Plus, then you'll find out who Deja is and how she came into the scene and all that. So Deja comes up or whatever, and she walks up to Zach or whatever, and is talking to him, yada, yada, yada. Then she touches Zach's shoulders, right? Fatima was doing, I don't know what exercise this is right here. She's working on her arms or something. I don't know. I don't go to the gym. I need to, but I don't go. But she's doing some exercise, and she saw it out the corner of her eye. She let that machine go so fast. Zach got up so fast to get in between the middle of them, because he already know what is about to go down. Like, this one, Deja knows that they are together, and she keeps throwing herself at Zach. I don't know what's wrong with Deja. Like I said, I don't know if somebody sent Deja to mess with him. I don't know what it is, but I don't know why she forget Zach. I don't know why she keep playing with Fatima at this point. I really don't know. I really don't understand why she thinks Fatima is a joke and that Fatima is not serious. Fatima is with the she really is. She's trying to stay peaceful. She's trying to stay out of jail. She's trying not to call her family. All of that. But Fatima is with the and I don't know what has to happen for Deja to see that. So at this point or whatever, she said, what did she call her? Did she call her a tangerine? Also, Deja is good for calling people. You just have to go watch Zatima on BET Plus if you haven't. And if you watch Zatima on BET Plus, you already know what I'm saying. She always has this one-liner that always be funny. I think she called her a tangerine. But then she go into telling Zach or whatever, basically trying to get Zach to come to her place. Deja stays next door to Zach. He's renting the place out to her. Something is broke in her apartment or whatever. And Fatima asked her, why is everything over there always broke? And she was like, I don't know. Maybe you need to ask the last person that stayed there. And I'm like, she's really over there breaking stuff so Zach can come over there. And Fatima was like, well, let me find out. She said, what did she say? She says, I think she said something like, now why would I do that type thing? A lot of reason, Deja. A lot of reason. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that it's basically a duplex. I thought that duplex was brand new. Didn't nobody else stay there before her, right? Or am I remembering that wrong? I'm trying to think back to the previous seasons of Sistas. Because Zach was working on the house and whatever. He also... okay, maybe I'm remembering that wrong. I think there was an episode where he told Fatima it was actually a foreclosed property. So maybe somebody did stay there before her. Actually, no. I don't know. I'm going back to my original thought was that nobody else stayed there before her. Because it might have been a foreclosed property or whatever. But it was in the process of getting built, I think. I think he bought it in the midst of them finishing up construction. I don't know. I could be remembering that wrong, but I've saw every season of Sistas at least 2 or 3 times. So, and I'm remembering now that it's a foreclosed property, but also I think that he got it and they was in the midst of doing construction or whatever. I don't know. I'm going to lean towards there was nobody else that stayed there before Deja, and she is over there breaking stuff so Zach can come over there and fix it. Deja goes off, and then here come Aaron. I'm telling you, it's just outside people and outside stuff going on that is trying to break the foundation of Zatima. I tell you, Aaron comes over or whatever. It was like he want to talk to Zach. And basically, you know, he was like he want to talk to him by himself and not Fatima being there, basically. And then... and Zach told her, whatever you got to say, you can say it right here in front of my girl. And he was like, even if it's about Karen, yeah, even if it's about Karen, they are like, yes. So he goes to proceed on where, you know, she was in the hospital or whatever. And they both say at the same time, we know. Like when they be in sync, it'd be really cute. Like, so then he continues on to say, well, you know, yada, 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 just try to keep the stress down on her and whoop the whoop. And I was like, well, Aaron, one, Karen is stressing herself. 2, you stressed out by coming up and showing up at the hospital room. So, yeah, maybe you should stay away from Karen. Zach is not stunned Karen at all. So, you know, and Zach gets hostile. He gets hostile with Aaron. And all of these emotions come up or whatever. And then, because especially about the basketball, Aaron said something like, yo, we play basketball together. And then Zach goes into why they don't play basketball together. He said something like, we be on the same court with the same ball, but we do not play basketball together. And I was like, Zach is giving y'all play basketball together, no matter how you want to describe that or how you want to break that down. And although you probably don't want to play basketball with him, at the end of the day, you are playing basketball with him. He is so damn silly. So Aaron walks off or whatever. And Fatima noticed that Zach gets hostile. And I think this is why she asked him, are you still in love with Karen? I understand in the moment that he got hostile towards Aaron. And I understand it's probably taking her back to a place of what she went through with her ex. If you haven't watched Zatima on BET Plus, you definitely should go see her have a sit down conversation with her ex to get more, to get a little bit more history of Fatima a little bit. And although she has mentioned it from season to season about this ex, I think seeing that sit down with her ex will put some things in perspective for some people, because some people watch Sistas and haven't seen Zatima. So a lot of time I notice that people who watch Sistas but haven't seen Zatima, when it comes to Zach and Fatima, that their perspective is a little bit different. They're having a conversation or whatever, and she's basically is triggered. That's how I look at it. She's triggered. At this point, they're arguing or whatever, and Zach is like, so what are we doing then? Because I'm tired of saying I'm not in love with Karen. I'm tired of saying I don't want to be with Karen. I'm tired of saying I only want to be with you. Like, I'm tired of that at this point. This is why I also like to put things into perspective too, as well, is because these episodes are going on, like, sometimes these episodes are going on like they are dragged out, right? So 1 or 2 episodes can be 1 full day. So also I like to throw in there the time perspective of where Fatima is, to kind of play devil's advocate. In this exact scene, you know, she basically was like, when I see my ex, I get no feelings, no emotion, they get nothing. And I was like, well, Fatima, that's not entirely true. When you run into your ex, that's not exactly what happened, but we're going to leave that on the Zatima universe, and we're not going to, you know, bring that over here. We're going to play along with you, I guess, but yeah, that's not how that went. But basically at this point, it's probably been a few days since she ran into her ex, maybe a month. I don't know. The timeline is not matching up anyway. So in my head, I'm going to go with that, you know, everything is getting thrown at her, you know. So a lot of her insecurities when it comes to her ex are showing up now, and she's lashing out at Zach because, you know, certain things are happening that's triggering her, that's reminding her. So in her process of trying to get over it and trying to heal and all of those things, it hasn't been that long. So that's why I'm playing devil's advocate on that, to basically just say that, you know, just give it time. She'll get there. Give it time. She'll get there. She'll get to a point to where she no longer questions Zach about whether or not he wants to be with Karen, about whether or not he's in love with Karen. Zach said, so like, what are we doing? Like, I'm tired of this Karen thing. Like, I wake up, you ask me about Karen. I go to sleep, you ask me about Karen. In the middle of the day, I ask about Karen. We do this and we get happy, and then you ask about Karen again. So like, what are we doing? Which is a valid question. Like, what are we doing? I mean, it's not a valid question because Zach, we know what y'all are doing, and I don't care, you know, y'all are not allowed to break up. I just want to let you know that. But as far as to like, what are we working towards? Like, that type thing. So I understood him with that. And then something happens to where he don't call Fatima Karen. Now, again, I told you, he just said Karen name like 6 or 7 times. He basically, you know, he said, you know, I go to sleep, we talk about Karen. I wake up, we talk about Karen. We have sex, we get happy. Then we go back to Karen. So he just said Karen name like 6 or 7 times. So I do not think at all that he meant to call her Karen. It honestly was a mistake. You know, I don't know about y'all parents, but my mom has 5 kids. My mama will go through 4 names before she get to that 5th child name that she really wants. So sometimes it just happened like that. I really don't think that, you know, he meant to call her Karen. But of course, you know, that's how the episode ended. Fatima is going to be upset that he called her Karen, but I really don't think she should be. I really think that it was a mistake. So, you know, that was the Zatima of the episode. I also want to make this comment, you know, and I'm going to try to keep it brief because I really don't want these recaps and reviews to be as long as the episodes are. And sometimes if I'm very much into something, I can ramble on. So I'm trying to stop doing that. Notice that the topic of Fatima is toxic came up. And I want to go into that a little bit. I noticed that sometimes every time Zach and Fatima get to arguing, people goes to, she's acting like Karen. I highly disagree. I really do. You know, you can have a conversation with somebody without tearing them down. You can have a conversation to somebody where you respectfully check them. You can have a conversation with somebody without it being toxic. And I think that Fatima expresses her emotions, her doubts, her concerns in a very reasonable way. Everything is not toxic. It really is not. And this is not even a Sistas thing. This is not even a Zatima thing. This has been my viewpoint for quite some time now. I think since toxic has become the norm way to describe certain things, ever since people have been on this journey and this path to, you know, peace and not wanting to be bothered with certain stuff and up that alley type thing, I think people are misusing the word toxic. Like I said, everything is not toxic. A person imperfection doesn't automatically, you know, puts them into the toxic category. I have not seen Fatima be toxic towards Zach. Nobody is perfect. Everybody's going to have baggage. They're going to have childhood baggage. They're going to have past relationship baggage. They're going to have parents baggage. Like, everybody's going to come with baggage one way or the other. And just because they have that baggage, it doesn't automatically puts them into a toxic category. Like I said, I think that word is being misused. Also, what I want people to think about this too is that, you know, for the past season, pretty much in all the seasons, the baggage has been aimed at Zach. You know, got an ex-girlfriend that's pregnant, potentially his baby. Got a 3-year-old baby that he's potentially the father of. You know, he has a record. He's been in jail. He's, you know, got the SEC thing. Like, for the past few seasons, you know, we've been, you know, tuned into Zach baggage. So I knew that in the up and coming season, they was going to go into Fatima's baggage more. Rightfully so, because like I said, I think I said this even in, you know, my last review, a relationship is not one-sided. A relationship is not only going to be successful or fail because of one person. It takes two for both to be successful, and it takes two for it both to fail. I knew that they was going to go into her baggage a little bit more, and part of her baggage is, you know, being hurt by her ex, and but we're definitely probably going to get more of her baggage as the season go on as well. You know, it's just basically, you know, Zach and Fatima have to continue to decide that they are going to help each other unpack their baggage and heal from it. That's really all that it is. But for Fatima to be classified as toxic, I do not agree with that. I would have to respectfully disagree with that. And I think what Tyler Perry is trying to do is trying to reach people on different levels, especially in our community, is where he's trying to say that you have to unpack your hurt, your pain, your baggage, your trauma in order to start healing from it. And he's trying to do that across all characters, I think. All right, let's go. Who we're going to next? Karen and her mom, Miss Lisa. So, you know, Karen is on bed rest. And her mom is there making sure she get her bed rest and making sure she's not being stressed and taking care of her, being a parent. And I think she made a breakfast or something, and they're sitting down at the table, and Miss Lisa tells her that, no, actually, Karen tells her mom that, you know, I had a dream that Zach came by. So Miss Lisa say, well, he did come by. And she got, you could see it all over her face that, you know, she was happy to hear that he came by. So Miss Lisa said, but yeah, I sent them away. I didn't agree for him to see you type thing. And you can see her get disappointed that her mom sent him away. Karen said, well, thank you. But her mom saw right through that. Her mom knew that she didn't agree with him being sent away. No, they continue their conversation or whatever. Miss Lisa offered her some advice. Some advice to write Aaron and Zach a letter, letting them know how she feel. Just put it all in a letter and letting them know how she feel. And read it to them. That's going to help her. Cool. I don't see the purpose of it, because it's coming off that the only thing that's going to make her better is Zach gets back with her. And that's not happening. That's not happening at all. So I don't see the beneficial on either part. Why she has to write the letter. Not only write the letter, but she wants, her mom said, read it to them. Not only read it to them where they both are there. And I'm like, okay, if I get on board with her writing the letter and reading it to them, I don't think I'm going to get on board with them both being there together to hear this letter that she writes. Because like she tells her mom, you know, she loves Zach, but of course she loves Zach and she doesn't feel that way about Aaron, but she cares for him. And my only thing with that is that she reads this letter and the both of them is sitting there. Aaron is going to, I hope it become clear to Aaron that she don't want you and it's time to move on and it's time to stop chasing her. If the baby turns out to be yours, which I hope it will be, but if the baby turns out to be yours at that point, you know, y'all can co-parent and whatnot, but she doesn't want you. So stop chasing her. I already know what the letter to Zach is going to say. At this point, I need Karen to take accountability for her decisions and her actions in the relationship overall. Because you can't keep throwing up that, you know, he cheated. You took him back. It was your decision to take him back and stay. Like, I hope it's a accountability letter when it comes to Zach. Because Zach has taken, you know, accountability for his actions, his decisions, all of that. He definitely has. Karen hasn't. So I want her letter to be an accountability letter to Zach. But I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, if I get on board with the whole writing the letter thing that Miss Lisa came up with, I really don't think they both should be there to hear the letter to the other, but we'll see how it plays out. But I hope that the letter is once and for all the end of Karen wanting Zach and trying to get him back and trying whatever it is and disrespecting. I hope that once she gets this letter out, it's going to put her on a path to start healing. Go to this damn Calvin and Q. So Calvin goes to the bar or whatever with Chris, you know, the pride bar that they always go to. How did Chris know before Calvin? Because Chris ended up telling Calvin that Maurice was in jail. Chris don't tell him all the details or whatever. So I guess it's some bells going off in Calvin's head. So he was like, okay, Q's at the house. I need to go to the house. I need to handle this or whatever. Chris was like, okay, I'm coming with you for backup. Calvin said, I don't need no backup. And I'm like, Calvin, do you remember the bank scene? You got hit and did this little twirl? Yeah, you need backup. You definitely need some backup. Would Chris have been my first thought as to the backup? No, but you definitely need backup. So Chris was like, I'm coming with you. Fast forward, they back at the apartment. Q is in the bed with a woman. It's like, I'm trying to figure out. Q is becoming the character that I'm hating the most at this moment. Like, he has some nerve to be in Maurice's bed with a woman, and you don't got this man locked up. So he come out the room or whatever. Him and Calvin is having some words. They going back and forth. So basically, Q don't told on himself because Calvin didn't mention on nail time that Maurice was in jail. And basically, Q already knew that. So he don't told on himself. So now they fighting. I'm proud of Calvin this time because he got some hits in. It wasn't he just didn't get hit and did a twirl. No, he got some hits. He got some hits in, but Q still won. And I was so irritated with Chris because I was like, at the gay bar, you was talking all this stuff. You want to be the backup and whatever. And you over there just acting, and you over there just standing there watching. You and Calvin should have jumped Q. Like, it should have been a 2-on-1 type thing. What was the purpose of you coming? You didn't do nothing. You didn't do anything. I was rooting for you. I really was, but you did not do anything at all. What some type of backup you are, Chris. Come on. So Calvin say he's going to handle it. I don't know how he's going to handle it, but I need somebody to handle it ASAP to get Maurice and Sabrina out of jail. Then going back to, y'all remember, I told y'all in the last episode, Danny walked in and was sneaking in when Andy and Gary was having sex. And she had all types of jokes. Said she see why Andy can't let go of Gary type thing, just all types of jokes. But eventually they got to the point to, they figured out that Sabrina was in jail and that it was a Fed crime and she basically has to see a judge or whatever. So still no Sabrina and Maurice in this episode. Free Sabrina and Maurice. We would like to know how they doing, but I guess we still will have to wait till next episode. I just want to know, how long are we going to drag this out? That's always a question messing with Tyler Perry. How long are we going to drag this out? That's pretty much my review and my recap of season 5, episode 3, No Stress. Like I said, they stressing me out, especially Zatima. I need Zatima to get it together and communicate. But I hope this episode was the last episode and that she asked Zach if he's still in love with Karen, because he's not. He's not. And I want her to stop asking and telling him that he is. And I want him to put Karen in check. And I'm not saying being rude about it or anything like that. But, you know, how Karen is acting and how Karen is being disrespectful towards Fatima, Zach not checking it, I think also plays a part into her insecurities as well. You can't protect her peace from your ex. And it's something that you brought in y'all lives.